It's only when you put them against the PlayStation 1 version that you notice that some sacrifices were made.
Yo, what's good? This the Mad Gamer back with another one. Go ahead and hit a sonic boom on the like button for the algorithm, and then make sure you subscribe up, because we got all the latest gaming news, unboxings, documentaries. We got live streams. We live stream all the games. We got it all, man. On this one, we need to talk about how the Nintendo Switch is going to change the whole game when it comes out. But first, we need to just talk about how it's going to be selling like hotcakes. All the pre-orders in UK sold out. I know it's going to sell like hotcakes. Everybody talking about it's too much, even though it's $100 over the last Switch. Only $100.
I want my $75 on Friday.
What you gonna do with $75, Kingpin?
But most important right now is we're gonna be having a live cop. It's gonna be coming up on, I probably come on about April 23rd at 11:30, waiting for April 24th. April 24th is the date it's dropping. I'm coming on April 23rd at 11:30 at night. Come on here, man. I'm gonna be live copping it right live on camera, you feel me? And anybody who trying to get it, we can get in there and, you know what I mean, see who gets the W's and see who don't, you know what I mean? Now, I just had to stop in and talk about how for the Nintendo Switch 2, this is gonna be revolutionary, because not since the days of the Super Nintendo has Nintendo been able to get a decent port that can stand up to the other consoles at the time. Super Nintendo could stand up to Sega Genesis, even had better ports. It started going downhill when it got to the Nintendo 64. And no, Nintendo 64 is a great system. It was fun. I had it. First game I copped was Star Wars and Wave Race. Wave Race, that was just my game. That's what that new Mario kind of remind me of, because you can get on the water. It's gonna be like Wave Race too. They ain't saying it, but it's gonna be like Wave Race. You get what I'm saying? The Nintendo 64 is when it started going downhill. They had Smackdowns and stuff coming out for PlayStation, but for Nintendo 64, we got NWO Revenge, and those games were great. All them joints was fire, hot fire for the Nintendo 64. But what happened was it wasn't able to do the same ports that PlayStation did, because they had cartridges. And that's the one thing that's blowing my mind right now, how they're going to be able to do all this with cartridges. Now, maybe they're going to do it like the I know the PlayStation and the Xbox, they take some information from the CD. They said it's only what, 5% or 10% of the game on a CD, even less maybe, I heard, and then they put all of it onto the hard drive and it runs from there. So maybe that's what's gonna happen with the Nintendo Switch. That's how it's able to run through cartridges now, since, you know, it only has to have some of the information to put it onto the I have no idea how a cartridge is gonna be able to output these graphics, because back in the day, Resident Evil, let me show you, Resident Evil 2 is when the ports started to show that it would not work for the Nintendo 64. But let me say this, the Resident Evil 2 port for Nintendo 64 is also hailed as one of the best games, because it's not even supposed to be possible. That game is not even supposed to be possible to be able to fit 2 discs of Resident Evil frontward and backwards inside the Nintendo 64 cartridge. And now right here, as you see, as Gamestradamus just told you, the impossible port, literally, how did Resident Evil 2 manage to fit on a single Nintendo 64 cartridge?
Released originally for the Sony PlayStation, the game came on 2 CDs with 2 separate characters to play through as. Each character has 2 scenarios which can be unlocked when you complete the game the first time round. These scenarios unlocks events from the other character's perspective. The game was a smash hit. It sold 380,000 copies during opening weekend and grossed $19 million. The game would also see ports to other systems, notably the Sega Dreamcast, Nintendo GameCube, and the Nintendo 64. But if there's one port that stands out,
I never knew it was a port for the Nintendo GameCube of Resident Evil 2. Wow, we learn together here on this channel.
Released almost 2 years from the original PlayStation 1 version, Resident Evil 2 on the Nintendo 64 is a technical masterpiece. Somehow, the entire game, with both Leon and Claire's gameplay, including full motion video movies, music and audio, were all compressed down to fit in a 64 megabyte cartridge. This was achieved by Angel Studios, a team of 9 developers with a budget of $1 million. It's only when you put them against the PlayStation 1 version that you notice that some sacrifices were made. What's also interesting about the Nintendo 64 is that there's no dedicated video decoding hardware for full motion video. It was all done in software.
And now, as y'all see, I said what I said. Gamstradamus is in the building again. Here's a little Easter egg about me. Alright? I'm really the Ancient Gamer. Don't tell nobody. My real name is the Ancient Gamer. Don't tell anybody. But yeah, that's a little Easter egg. But yo, like I was saying, it started going bad with ports there, and y'all already know where it went after that. Wii U had crazy bad ports, and let's not even get into the Nintendo Switch. Mortal Kombat. 2 frames per second.
When I first heard that Mortal Kombat 1 would be skipping the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One consoles, but would in fact be coming out on the Switch, my first thought was, surely that means that it's going to be one of those cloud version only games like Resident Evil Village, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and so on. But I was wrong. Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch is a straight up port, running directly off of the Switch hardware. And yes,
oh my god. Yo, the gameplay don't look too bad. It's just it's just the cutscenes, bro. And another crazy little Easter egg. Nintendo was allegedly thinking of calling this thing the Super Nintendo Switch. Now I'm glad that they went with the Nintendo Switch 2 because it's way more self-explanatory. You get what I'm saying? Remember they messed up with Wii, and then they came out with Wii U. People like, is that Wii 1.5? They would have just made a Wii 2. You know what I mean? People would have been understood that. But I'm just glad that we can get decent ports now because they developed the chip with NVIDIA, and it's gonna be so nice. It should be somewhere up toward a 5090. That's what I was hearing, that it had the 5090 in it the whole time. But I'm like, ain't no way it could have a 5090 in it. But they were developing it, and it's a special chip. And as you've seen, 4K, 120, 1080p on the little screen, on the big screen, 120, 4K, HDR, VRR. I mean, it's just looking smooth. And I've heard rumors about that it might not. We don't roll with rumors on this channel. Only real news. Only real news. So make sure y'all tune in for the live cop, 11:30 Wednesday night, April 23rd. We getting ready for the 24th. We gonna be camping out. We gonna be chilling. I'm gonna probably just playing some games, just cooling out. You get what I'm saying? But make sure you tune in because Nintendo is gonna make history here. They putting their hat back in the race for all these games, putting their hat back in the race for all these third parties to have decent ports, maybe even better ports. Who knows? Whew.